I've been running an online software company for about 3 years, and I've been recording every day for about the past year. And today's Christmas, so Merry Christmas for those who celebrate, and Happy Holidays for those who don't. And I'm currently in the middle of nowhere in a little village in rural Portugal. Um, so I come up here every year, northern Portugal, very close to Spain actually, and spend some time. And it's kind of a family tradition. Um, which is a really nice one because I think it provides a really good platform to reset. Like, I've recently been reading this book, 438 Days, which is it's a story about this guy who survived pretty miraculously over 438 days out at sea, stranded, and it's a real story. And I don't know, it was an interesting book. It had me thinking about a lot of things, but I think coming out to the countryside is like one of the best times to just reflect and reset on a lot of things. To really reset, like, what are the minimum expectations that you have, and like what really matters. Like when you come out here, there's more cattle than there are people here. Like people live very simple lives. There's farms and dogs walking around, and this is where my grandparents were both from and born, and it reframes a lot of things. And I feel like a lot of people get so caught up in the city stuff. I think it's one of the most helpful and grounding times of the year for me, and I think most people should try and find some level of this as well. Like, it really helps me to just reset, and the view's gorgeous. Look at this. Can't really see, but it feels better in person. I've realized that I'm trying to focus a lot more on, I think, giving more as a person. Like, being a more giving person in general is something that I want to work on. And like, at the end of the day, one of the most grounding things I have is coming back here. It's like, it doesn't take that much to be okay. If everything goes to shit, you come here and it's really not that big a deal. And that, I think, is one of the ways which you can like really reset the amount of risk that you can take and stuff. Like, when you reframe things like that, it's like, it's really not that bad. Like, you can live here on so little. And the more stories I see of that, it makes me realize, okay, everything else is extra. Everything else is icing on the cake. We have so much icing on the cake. That makes life, I think, so rich, so incredibly rich. And it also makes it easier to take risks because you know if everything goes to shit, it's like, you're okay. You know, it's not that bad. It's not the end of the world. You just come out here and nothing really matters as much as you thought it did. There's a little dog here. Oh, he left. I don't think he likes me. But I don't know. When you put it like this, I think it's like, it just strips away so much of the status games and shit like that. It's just stupid and silly things that we play and do and tell ourselves. And I think those are still worthwhile to play. Like, I don't regret anything of what I do. I don't want to come here and just live full time. But it really makes me kind of reset expectations, and it's like, yeah, maybe you don't need those fancy things that you're after. Maybe you can drop some of that, and particularly, like, focus on giving more to your people in your community. And your people in your community are everywhere around you. They're your friends, they're your colleagues, they're your team, they're your clients. Like, those are the people that you serve. And I don't know, I think London's amazing for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons in which it is not so amazing is that it's a like it's a really concentrated place of a lot of wealth, which I think is great in many ways. It's a great platform for me to learn, develop, things like that. But also sometimes it exposes you to all the most materialistic obsessions people have. I think it's important to try and balance that. So I consider myself extremely lucky to have this like kind of routine of coming back out every once in a while, and it's something I love. Last year I went to Mongolia for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I spent almost half of that just in the Mongolian Gobi Desert, which is nothing for miles and miles and miles. And it was another one of these kind of situations which just resets everything. Yeah, so I think that's perhaps a valuable reflection for anybody who finds themselves trying to like meddle in entrepreneurship and online business. I think you find a lot of people which just say work, work, work and do all this and get rich. And I think the main thing I realized is like, stop making it about yourself. There's more people to this, and it will bring you so much more joy to include those other people than to not. I think just, a purely selfish pursuit will come to prove, I think, in my opinion, really unfulfilling. The most fulfillment I've gotten out of this has by far been because of the way that I've been able to share, the impact that it's been able to create. And I realize that's way more important. Yeah. So I'm quite excited for next year. A lot of exciting things ahead. I know this was a bit of a pretty long ramble, but it's Christmas, so I thought I'd just kind of take it from a more personal perspective. And I think if there's like one main reflection that I'd want people to take away, or at least consider, if there's somebody who wants to become an entrepreneur, business owner, do anything online, is the online stuff is really obsessed about how to make more money and all this stuff. Making money has become a personality trait. I don't think being rich is a personality trait at all. And I encourage people to just consider other aspects of their lives, which are really important. Like your ideal situation. Ideal situation. You can have whatever you want. The cars, the house, whatever. What does that really look like? And if you live that day to day, are you really going to be happy? Because I think a lot of people don't stop to actually ponder that and realize that just having a bunch of money in the bank doesn't make you more interesting or make you happier and things like that. It's like, if I just give you $5 million to your bank account, it's just, you got to think outside of those things. And how do you build something on the way that you really enjoy building and that you look back and you're like, man, I love those years. I love building that. I really this was the adventure of a lifetime. Don't lose that. I think people are obsessed with you have to trade your 20s for your no stories in your 20s, just work, and then in your 30s you can live life. It's like, well, I don't know. I think that your work can be a story of its own, and I think it should be in many ways. And I think stopping to consider how you want that story to look is important, and in the long run actually makes you more money, a lot more money. Because I think I don't know, that's my belief. I think things work out when you are happier, but not on a day-to-day basis, but just when you're more content with no, this is really something I believe in. I know exactly why I'm doing this. When you'll have that much more drive, and I think that will lead very far. Yeah. Feel free to comment any questions if you have any.